Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
And
the
Lauri, can I
penultimate?
just say one thing for Ken? December 17th, 2026.
Sorry, what was that again?
That's for Ken McGill, December 17th, 2026.
Okay.
Let's go.
You should start now.
Okay, all right.
That's before the start.
Welcome, welcome everybody to the penultimate meeting of Astro Cafe for May the 11th, 2026. And we are happy to have everybody online here today, and people in the building, as they say, that are in there. Thanks for everybody to come down. And I have just got a couple of little things that people have said that they would could do. Is there anyone else that would like to either give some a little bit of a little bit of a need, or needs a little bit of time online, or would like to give any announcements or anything like that? I have Natasha has asked, and so has David. And then Ken McGill said that if we are on long enough that it's kind of dark down in Texas, we might be able to get actually some look at Texas. I've got Jim Hesser going to give a few words. And is there anyone else that would like to?
You did get me. I want to talk about eclipses.
Oh, thank you, Randy. Yes, that's right. Is that? And
and also this is Phil, and I would just like a couple of minutes to make a brief comment about something that's coming up.
okay, Phil, you are on. Anybody else? Okay, well, we can add in Chris Gainer. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk, or are you going to wait for it all until Wednesday?
I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Well, we'll all be there with bated breath on Wednesday night. And so we do have announcements, from various people. So we'll try that. Okay. Maybe we should, Jim, can we start off with you?
Yes, that's a good question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
For some reason, my name doesn't appear. It's on the participants list, but not on these little windows around the top. Betty is here with me, as you have seen, but not named. Any case, about 2 weeks ago now, Dr. Donald Morton passed away. Don had been the Director General of the Hertzberg Institute, as it was then called, and still fondly remembered by me as the Hertzberg Institute. Don was really an excellent astronomer and astrophysicist, and an instrumentalist and an observatory manager who had enormous impact in astronomy internationally. He was born and raised in Ontario and done his undergraduate degree at the University of Toronto, majoring in physics and astronomy. And he did his PhD at Princeton University, where in the summer of 1962, I'll start back 6 months earlier. During the winter of 61, 62, I wrote a lot of letters to places with astronomy activities, departments, telescopes, trying to find a summer job I was studying at the University of Kansas. And amazingly, I got this summer job between my third and fourth years at Princeton, which is where I first met Don. And I didn't have a lot of interactions with him, but he was a really friendly guy and really took interest in people who were in the department, including summer students. So I did meet him then and enjoyed hearing him converse about the activities he was involved in. He was a pioneer in rocket astronomy. And he was just getting underway with that work that summer, and he continued for several more years. Any case, then I was extremely fortunate to be admitted to graduate school. So 18 months or so later, I was back in New Jersey, and shortly after that, Betty and I married. So both of us were there, and both of us knew Don from that time. So he's been a good friend for many, many years. And Don did a lot of work in stellar astrophysics while a postdoc at Princeton. And he actually, the rocket program that he developed and ran, they were flying Araby rockets from White Sands, New Mexico, basically V2 type rockets from White Sands. And he built this small prism spectrograph to fly on the rocket. And with that, it must have been in 1968, maybe 67, he obtained the first spectra of stars in the far ultraviolet. The sun had been studied in the far ultraviolet, but from rockets. But Don got the first spectra of stars, in fact, Orion stars, from the small spectrograph he built. And it was a very humorous story because they would fly the rocket at night, and the rocket goes up and the rocket comes down and crashes somewhere in the desert. And he went out with a darkroom bag, of course, a little film, very small, less, I'd say probably only 1.5 centimeters or 2 centimeters diameter pieces of film in the camera. And the rocket, upon landing, crashing during the night, had broken wide open. Of course, it's White Sands, New Mexico, desert, bright daylight, etc., etc. So he kind of figured there was nothing on the film, but being cautious, he put the camera inside the darkroom bag and took it back to New Jersey, where a few days later he finally said, well, he might as well take it to the darkroom and open up and see how overexposed and burned out the film was. And it turned out the film was good. And so he had the first ultraviolet spectra of stars, which was very exciting. And he told many colloquia this story in a very humorous fashion, which everybody enjoyed. Any case, after a few years at Princeton in different postdoctoral roles, Don and he also worked for a while at the Naval Research Lab, but then he had the opportunity to move to Australia and became the director of the Anglo-Australian Observatory, where he did an excellent job and really helped the observatory improve its performance in astronomical research. And in 1986, he applied for and won the job of being the Director General of Hertzsprung. So he moved first to Ottawa, where at that time, in the mid-60s, the Hertzsprung Institute had around 220 employees. But there were severe budget cutbacks at that era in government. And Don, as Director General, was given the pleasure of leading the downsizing of Hertzsprung, by about 120 people. So it really contracted into focusing on astronomy per se, rather than including planetary. There was a planetary science program. There was a near Earth physics program studying the aurora, and of course Hertzberg's spectroscopy lab. But Don, as a new DG, had to deal with this cutback, and during those first few years, which were incredibly difficult for the entire institute and certainly for Don, the institute shrunk by over a factor of 2, which I think pained him a great deal. But then things evolved. It was decided that the institute would consolidate here in British Columbia, where of course the DAO and the DRAO are placed. So in the late 80s or early 90s, he and his family moved to Victoria, and he took over the management of the operations here in British Columbia. Now, when Don joined Hertzberg, he had a vision. He knew from having worked, in the at the Anglo-Australian Observatory, which was run by the UK and Australia. He knew that the UK was heavily involved in developing the James Clerk Maxwell telescope on Mauna Kea. And Don saw this. He knew they were having financial challenges, as all new observatory projects have. So he saw an opportunity for Canada to join the James Clerk Maxwell telescope. And that was something that he followed through on and worked with the Canadian community to make the decision internally to downsize our HIA's participation in the ARO radio telescope in Ontario, and to join the James Clerk Maxwell telescope. And in retrospective, that's how we ended up in ALMA. All the experience gained in millimeter, submillimeter astronomy through joining the JCMT and developing instrumentation for the JCMT and observing experience in that wavelength range or frequency range gave Canada the grounding that enabled Canada to very effectively join ALMA, which is what I spent the last 11 years of my career working on. So, and during Don's period, Canada joined the Gemini telescope project too. And of course, these were community goals. And as head of HIA, Don worked extremely hard to help the community in making the case to government for Canada to join the Gemini Observatory. So those are two really positive developments amongst many others that stand out for me. And so Don had been a friend for many, many years, but he became my boss. We worked well together. And I think he made tremendous contributions to the quality of astronomy in Canada that we enjoy today. So you asked for a few words, and I'm sorry I went on too long, but there are a few words.
Thank you, Jim. I know quite a few people wouldn't know Don, but I just think it's really important that we here in Victoria, kind of know some of that history of where what we're sitting on, and that how HIA has changed, has morphed and changed, and will continue to all the way through, depending on who is who is Director General, and and that kind of thing. So thank you. I thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Um,
I should just mention a astronomical aspect, and those of you who have read his obituary in the Times Colonist know that he was a mountaineer. He did first ascents of several mountains in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, and was able to give them names. And he was also an absolute fanatic for Meccano and built
amazing.
huge structures out of this. Don didn't sleep. I think that was the only way I could explain his productivity is he didn't sleep.
Natasha, it's Don Morton, Morton.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jim.
You're welcome.
That was great. Randy, can we have your presentation now
Absolutely.
on eclipses? The
Right.
eclipse.
Okay, share and share. So let's actually start off because there's no good segue. But on Friday, I am going to place the order for t-shirts. These are the t-shirts that are left from the last order, and they're only small and medium, and we're selling them for $20. But the rest will be at the same price as last year, $25. We're already up to 20 orders. It's fantastic. But I just want, and if I'm not at the meeting on Wednesday, but if somebody could also announce it on Wednesday, and then the order will go in. A Facebook friend pointed out that the royal crown has changed upon Charles's accession, and so this is now, I don't know whether you call it obsolete or legacy, but that's Queen Elizabeth's symbol apparently. So I might see about changing it to King Charles, because it's very cute. It's got a like Order of Canada snowflake instead of the cross, and it's got maple leaves. Anyway, the order. So on Thursday, by Thursday, I need to have the orders, and then I don't know when the next order will be, but and then distribution is going to be tricky, but you know, we'll that's the next stage. Very good. But that's not what I came for. I came to talk more about the eclipse. Why? Because we have this big event happening in August, and the next good eclipse in Victoria is not until 2033. So pray for clear skies, because they don't come by that often, and we're in a real drought now. Okay, so this is the talk that I gave with Kirsten at the General Assembly, but I'm going to get a bit more practical this time, and I just want to talk a bit about the sorts of eclipses that we have seen in Victoria and that we will see in the next while. So the first thing is this is a very funny sort of eclipse because it's a perfectly hard edge. And of course, that's not what you get for real. But I want to tell people that, especially for large features, like this is Plato here, okay? This guy, Plato, is north of the Imbrium Sea. Beautiful crater. And for this sort of thing, then you might be tempted to talk about when you have first contact, which is when it first touches, or second contact when it comes out. or third contact, which it touches the other way, and fourth contact when it comes out during the egress. And this is not just for lunar eclipse and the umbra going across things. Like when Venus comes and touches the moon or the sun, that's right. When Venus went in front of the sun, whenever that was, 2012, thank you. They always talked about first, second, third, and fourth contact. And it's the same thing. But most of the time, we're talking about little features, and we'll be talking about the time that the umbra goes past the middle and the end. And the way that Roger Sinnott compiles the times, Roger Sinnott of Sky and Telescope, he's got these 6 different possibilities. Okay. Now, again, this was in the General Assembly, but I just want to talk about it a bit. And at the time, we actually put on a YouTube, and noting that this is probably an 8-bit dynamic range. So that means there's only 256 shades of gray, and your eye does a gazillion shades of gray. And we're very good at seeing all of these different shades of gray, but just bear with me. So here's this clock. This was 42 minutes until totality, and you can see Plato very, very clearly right there. Now, so that's at 42 minutes. So here we are 4 minutes later, and the umbra has moved across, but you can still see Plato. So that's at 38, and here's so that's 40 seconds later or so. And now Plato is hiding in the umbra. So somewhere in that time, there was the point in time when the umbra passed the feature. And the way that Roger Sinnott is requesting people to do it is to mark the time of most rapid change in brightness. I see Dave Payne asking a question.
So in your diagrams, the inside the crater is dark and the rim is bright. So
Yeah.
Is that a difference between basalt and whatever's on the rim?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because it's kind of hard to tell what's the shadow and what's basalt.
It's very tricky. And that's part of the thing. Remember that the whole story is if you're on a ship with a 50-millimeter telescope or whatever, and you have to set your chronometer, at what point are you going to say that the umbra, the shadow, is going over the feature? And it really is not easy. I mean, I'll talk about my observations coming up.
Thanks.
Might help to choose the crater with a central peak.
You know what? I haven't found what sort, but we're going to just take a look at that really soon, and we'll talk about that. Okay, good. So bank that discussion. So yeah, so every eclipse, about a month ahead of time, Roger Sinnott puts out this table, and I was really surprised because he said, you know, they have these calculations. There's that 5,000 years of eclipses. I would have thought that he just has this calculated ahead, but he had to get the program going, and that was the first day. The second day, he wrote back saying, "Oh no, it's not working. I got to debug the thing." And so it was about a week before he was able to give us this table. So it means that he's got a functioning program, which is very good, because I really would like to him to be able to share it, but that's another thing. But this was the first view that people have of this table. And so here's the trick. The whole eclipse is going to be visible only in eastern and central Canada or North America. Over where we live, the moon is going to rise while it's in eclipse. So transferring Sinet's times, and this is Eastern time, I still haven't done a Pacific, but what we have is the ingress time and the egress time. So this is the first and second contact, this is the third and fourth contact. So what's going to happen is the shadow is going to go across, doesn't quite get, it's a 93% partial eclipse, and then it's going to start going out this way. So at 9:30, so it should be dark enough by 9:30, even though it's August, we'll see the umbra go past Plato, and here we see Aristarchus at 8:42, not at 9:42. So it's getting towards 10 o'clock. So like it's here at Billy at 10:02, Copernicus 10:01. And the last feature that I put on the map is Langrenus over here. Is going to be at 11:44. And then we're in this region of the Southern Alps. By the way, this is an upside down picture because this is what you would see in a Newtonian, a Dobsonian. Remember, and I'll make a version of this, which is north, up, and reversed for people who are using a refractor. But this is the south, and the Southern Alps doesn't have a whole bunch of things that are very easy to see. Now, to Dave and Leslie's questions. Sometimes the prominent craters, don't forget, at full moon, you're not seeing any shadows on the moon, or they're very subtle around the rim. But in the middle, all you're seeing is changes in albedo, how much light is being reflected. Who knows what the albedo of the Mare and the Alps are?
0.14.
I think that's even high. It's even lower than that. The moon is made out of black rock, and I think it's between 3 and 7% reflectance. So that would be 93 to 97, 0.93 to 0.9. No, albedo is the other way. That's right. So the albedo is 0.03 to 0.07, I believe, which is crazy. It's a black rock, but there's nothing behind it, and so it looks very bright. You can read a newspaper by it, but I should take a look at what features I did. I didn't put that in this presentation, but I think Grimaldi we could see pretty well, or was it Plato? So you do see the dark ones. And then you have the ring craters like Langrenus, and you could say, like Dave said, that it looks like you're seeing the ring, but mostly what you see with Plato is just the dark hole with the big surround of light stuff. Why is they light parts and dark parts, and especially why are there these rays? Well, it turns out, well, first of all, the dark parts, those are the basalt, and they're the very low reflectance. But what is the difference between the light gray and the very light gray? That's the age of the rock, because the rays of Tycho, they're only, in quote marks, they're only 1 billion years old. And so they haven't had as much of the micrometeorites breaking them up or the solar radiation doing whatever that does to change the albedo of these older places that are more around 4 billion years old. But it's quite remarkable. You really see the younger features. Okay, so then here, one thing that is very clear are the bright craters, and it's very nice. Things like Aristarchus is so bright against the Oceanus Procellarum. So that's a very nice one to see. I have a soft spot for Proclus because it's so asymmetric. The meteor came in at a glancing angle or like a 10-degree angle, and so you get this very asymmetric ejecta around it compared to Tycho, which has these rays going in all directions, or Copernicus, all directions. Okay, so enough talking about that. But I'm going to be sending this around in Pacific time, and I'm going to hope that people print that out because it really helps you to know where to focus your eyes. Does it bias your measurements? And the answer is, of course it does. And so that's a problem. So it's something to really consider. Try to be objective, but what I find is you want to know where to focus your eye ahead of time. Okay, so on the 27th, so this is at 8:30, and so we see that we are south of east, and the moon will be in almost complete eclipse and moving up this way, so towards the south and getting higher. This is using, that was stellarium, this is moon calc. And I would like to bring this open for discussion. Where should we meet? For example, Lauri, will there be an event up at the center of the universe, and people who know the observing platform, is that a direction that you can see things? It'll be kind of low to the southeast. It'll be, well, at this point, so this is at what is that? 20 o'clock. That's only no, that's moonrise. This is, I don't know what time I set this at. I think this is about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and it's up at 16 degrees. So, first question, Lauri, is there an event that night?
I actually don't know that specifically. What day
It's
of
a
the week is it?
it's a Thursday, it appears.
It's a Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
There could be something. I would have to check. I'm actually not sure, but I'm not sure. South of east means that it's behind the dome.
So, Lauri, the typical scenario when we want to do lunar stuff is go on the little lot
Yeah.
behind
Behind
the technical
green
building,
building.
the
Yeah,
large
by
green
yeah.
building.
Yeah.
There's a tree there, but there's a good swath of horizon line that looks down into the water. So that's the perfect spot, actually.
We would have to do some work on that, Randy, to find out where a good spot would be.
Okay, so this is on the to-do list. Then I just chose Cattle Point because we like to go Cattle Point, but Clover Point would be great. King George Terrace would be great. And maybe we shouldn't even try to set just one place. It might be better because, or on Mount Tomi, on the reservoir would be great. But sometimes there's a huge crowd.
Yeah,
And
that's why I'm thinking the spot on the on Little Sanish Mountain might be better because there wouldn't be any kind of public around.
So this is an important discussion point, and it really depends on whether the press picks up on this one or not. And sometimes you get huge crowds. Okay. So what makes a good lunar eclipse? Well, I decided I really had to dig into this one a bit. And I love spreadsheets. Not everybody likes spreadsheets, but I took, because I'm interested in what's happening right across Canada. So I took St. John's, Toronto, and Vancouver and calculated out what the elevation would be going from first contact to last contact. And as you see, for August 28th, it's really very good in St. John's, although it will be after midnight. And Toronto's very good, but we will be, it's at greatest eclipse. It's only 12 degrees above the horizon, and it's down below the horizon when it starts. Anyway, so this one I said east is high, central is high, and west we only see it in egress. And I gave it a quality of 7 because I gave highs 3 points, lows I gave 2 points, and just if you see only one of ingress or egress, I gave it 1 point. So as you see, the really good one, and a lot of people here will remember it, was January 2019. But who's going to count on clear skies on January 29th? We're often clouded in at that time. That happened to be a perfect night. But take a look what happens after here. June 2029 is below the horizon. December 2029 is below the horizon. So it's not until October 33 that we're going to see one, and it's going to be, before sunrise. So it'll be really nice, but it has to be for people who are really motivated. The next excellent one, January 1st, 2048. Okay. Do we have a date? So it's also interesting that it's about every 2.5 years there's an eclipse at a spot. So now we're talking about there being a big crowd. I'm now going to go through the last few eclipses and my view of the last few eclipses. So do people remember in 2015, that was before I joined the club, but there was a lot of press. And I live close to Clover Point. This was above Clover Point, and there were hundreds of people just lining along Dallas Road and into Clover Point. There was certainly no parking or anything. So that's what makes me think an August eclipse going to Dallas Road or King George Terrace might be really crowded. You'd have to get there early, and then it's going to come up, and there's always some cloud near the horizon. So it actually is going to take quite a while before we actually see it, assuming we have a good night. My friend Allison Bird took these pictures that night, though. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I was at Mount Tolney that night, if that's the one I'm thinking of, and you couldn't move on top of the reservoir.
Yeah.
I mean, there must have been well over 100 people up there.
So this is a good thing. The word got out, and
Yeah.
as I said, this is the last one until 2033. So, and that's not even one that people will watch. It has to be one that's in the evening. So basically, this is it for a lot of people for the foreseeable future.
And just the cautionary note again, if we want to advertise it as our event, then we have to be prepared
Yeah.
for example, Sandwich will want a licensed flag people everywhere.
So we have to be, anybody who does media for the August 27th has to be very careful to say that we are not organizing an event. That's super important. David.
Yeah, I just can you hear me?
Yep.
I just found the September 27th, 2015 event on Zenfolio, and we were on the hill in that parking lot that I just mentioned. Yeah, that's where a lot of the RASC people were.
Oh, good. Okay, so here's my old mom. This is that beautiful January clear sky. And this is looking in their living room out at it. And I took a time lapse, which I'm going to just quickly. I kept the same exposure all the way through. So it's way overexposed at the beginning, and you can see it turn nice and red. I don't know whether I would have made the same choices today, but oops, go away. Okay, but that was the best one. That was a spectacular, nice and high in the evening. It was the perfect eclipse for us, and we're not going to get another one like that. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. So, sometime between here and here, I discovered the whole idea of eclipse timing. And so this was my first chance. I was on Pender Island, and it was beautiful, clear at night. You could see Orion. It was lovely. And then at 4 a.m, when the eclipse was supposed to happen, I had this cloud, and I'm so disappointed. So I watched it on the computer while I was hoping for a chance to take a look. I had my telescope all set up, and oh well. Then the next year, Nathan came over to my porch, and we had 2 telescopes set up, and there were actually quite a few clouds. It looks pretty good at this point, but we only got 2 times. We only got 2 of the craters passing, and I think they were both during the egress. But the advantage of doing it with Nathan is that he brought eclipse cookies. And then last year, Kevin came over to my house, and while it looks cloudy right now, there was a big hole that came, and we did about 8 or 10 different crater crossings. And I also convinced a couple of other people to work with us, one in Arizona, one in Montreal. And so we submitted about 20 timings to Roger Sinnott. And then many of us will remember being up at the center of the universe at 4 a.m. on March 3rd. And this was very unsatisfying. So we could see that there was an eclipse going on, but it was through the clouds. So there was no possibility of doing any detailed work. And again, it was beautiful that evening, but the clouds came in at the wrong time. So that brings us to August 27th, and it's going to be clear. And I would say that some of us should be up on the hill, and then I would think, I'll probably set up, if we're not going to do a thing together, I'll probably set up on Dallas Road, and I'll get there nice and early. And if somebody joins me, that would be awesome, because it is easier to do it with 2 people. And we will not call it a RASC event. That's a very good cautionary tale. So all you need is a telescope I'll probably do it with my 3-inch Mac. You have a clock going tick, 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 have your map ready, and pen and paper. And Kirsten Vanstone has set up a easy way to enter your data, or just send a spreadsheet to me or whatever, or a scrawled piece of paper, whatever. And that is my story today. I have to tell you, this is my last Astro Cafe of the season. Next week, there's no Astro Cafe, it's Victoria Day. The final of the season, Chris Pearce will be the host, and I will be off somewhere 2 hours from Montreal. So you won't have me bugging you next week.
Thanks, Randy. And don't worry, we'll miss you anyway, no matter where you are. No, there you go. Does anybody have any questions for Randy? Just right now. It just seems like you just don't know what it's going to be like, right? Dan Hogan.
Hi, would it be cheating if we took a video and then carefully analyzed it afterwards, and, to see, I think when it gets this gray, it's crossing.
It's a great question, but a video just can't capture what your eye can capture. It doesn't have the dynamic range. There is a great YouTube that just came out. A guy had 2 cameras on the mount and took a high exposure, low exposure at the same time. And he did this high dynamic range by combining the 2, and it still is no good. Okay, I think one could do it, but it's going to take more than 2 cameras to do it properly. So go ahead and do it. It's very interesting. But no, a camera can't see both the light part, the penumbra, and the umbra. Cameras just aren't designed for that. But really good question, because we were talking about that. I remember David saying, let's just take a video, and then you can just time it. But you won't get anything like what the eye sees.
Okay.
Multiple lens elements in the lens.
Yeah.
Get a lot of internal scattering.
The internal scattering hurts it, eh?
Lens construction.
Okay, David Lee.
Yeah, I think I've already asked you this question, Randy, but I'll ask you again. Accuracy of timing to the second?
Ha! Not a chance, Kevin. They say 5 seconds, and I think we didn't even we just did every 10 seconds.
We could.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to be super accurate then.
Well, you can't be.
Yeah.
So we had a GPS synchronized audio clock, so the clock was accurate, but what's difficult is saying when is the umbra crossing the feature, and if we were good to 10 seconds, I'm really shocked.
Okay, so that would be good enough then.
Well, I would say you're right that having the accurate time is way more important than your time of measurement, because if your clock's wrong.
Yeah. Don't you use your watch.
No, you need to be on exactly the right time.
But this is one of the reasons I'm very keen to get lots of measurements across Canada, because it's only like there are a few eclipses organized by this guy named Byron Soulsby in the Southern Hemisphere, where he was getting hundreds of observations each eclipse. And then you can do the statistics. And seriously, people are seeing up to like a minute difference, but you get a very good bell curve. And so you can get a nice, you can have confidence because there's so many different people with so many different types of equipment. And so you can count on those measurements to, on average, be correct.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Any other questions? I'm sure we can probably talk a little bit about this at a star party too. If anybody's got any other questions or wants to, kind of see the setup and everything like that, that might be a good idea. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Natasha, do you want to give us your little presentation, please?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Lauri. I'll just share my screen. So this project is one that several of you are already familiar with, and indeed had quite a bit of involvement with as well. So it originates from my late husband, who passed away 4 years ago, Henri van Bentum. He created back in 1972, that's 54 years ago, this series of 100 paintings and he called it Organiverse. It's sort of it's a micro macro project. The imagery is evocative of both macrocosmic and microcosmic scale. And long story, but it did come to the attention of the people at Chandra X-ray Observatory, NASA's telescope, and both Gary Seddon and Joe Carr and Jim Hesser were involved in bringing it to a larger audience as well here in Victoria during the International Year of Light. But it was Kimberly Arcand at NASA Chandra who was really, really taken with the Organiverse series. So she put together this website called Coloring Space. And what she did was she selected a small number of paintings from the Starry Night edition of Organiverse and juxtaposed them with images of NASA images. And now this project is from 2010. So the images are quite ancient, if you will, at least the ones on the right side. But I can put the link to the actual site itself in the chat, but I did want to show you a couple of minutes at the front and back end of a video that Joe Carr put up kindly for us on a Vimeo site. So I'll just play a few moments. I don't know. Ooh, I'll have to start again. Sorry, I did not activate the sound. Oh dear. I think you should be getting sound in a minute. I'm not hearing anything. Is anyone hearing
No,
any music?
There's no sound, Natasha.
I don't know.
I think
what
the
it is.
video itself is muted on the video player.
Ah,
Click on the sound on the video player on the right-hand side.
oh yes, bravo. Thank you. Okay, we'll just start again. I'll show you. And I wanted to emphasize that the paintings themselves are very small. They're only 8.5 centimeters in diameter, all painted by hand, dot by dot, while we were living in Morocco and later on the island of Madeira. So here are just the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes. going to go ahead to the last 2 minutes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. And I will put the link because there are 100 paintings altogether, so that's just a small selection. But I would like to thank again Jim Hesser, Gary Sutton, and Joe Carr, who were all involved in when we presented this as part of the International Year of Astronomy back in 2009.
I remember the beautiful drawings down at the Eaton Center.
That's right.
Oh,
And we
beautiful.
brought
Yeah.
Chris Hadfield over from Ottawa.
Yeah. Oh no, those are just gorgeous. They're very evocative when you see them in in a whole space. They're like when you're seeing them one after the other. That that really pulls things into perspective a little bit more. Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Natasha. Um,
Natasha,
and sorry,
Yes?
go ahead.
On the Facebook today, your husband was mentioned. That somebody else's picture was evocative of your husband's paintings. And
Yeah, that was me. I posted it. Yeah, there was another.
I couldn't find it. I just remembered seeing that this morning.
Yeah, there was an artist who was also using pointillism, and he was a Chinese artist. Yeah, and I thought of Henri today, of course, because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Phil, did you want to mention a couple of things that you had?
Oh, just one thing, if I may. So NASA has a spacecraft called Psyche, which is on its way to an asteroid called Psyche, and this is Psyche spelled with a P, like psychology. It's an M-class asteroid, believed to be a metal asteroid, and the spacecraft later this week is going to make a gravity assist flyby of Mars. We expect it will take some pictures, so I don't have anything to show now, but at the meeting 2 weeks from now, I hope I'll be able to show the pictures such as we have at that time and say something about them.
Okay,
And
great.
Going to land or
it will orbit the asteroid when it gets there, but that's about 3 years away.
wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say it was orbiting and being pulled in, or is it actually going to land eventually?
It won't land on the asteroid. No, it will just orbit
Just-
at distances, mapping
Okay.
solutions. Yeah. So hopefully
Okay.
pictures in 2 weeks. Pictures of Mars in 2 weeks.
Okay. CJ, did you want to talk to us about Banfield?
Yeah, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm on my other computer on Linux, and sometimes tricky. So yeah, since I'm the only one of the four of us that went to Banfield this weekend, I thought I could give you a little feedback. So yeah, Janet, Mumford, Vince, Geisler, Bill, Weir, and myself, we went to Banfield for 3 days for the Dark Sky Festival organized by the community around Banfield and Anakla, and it was absolutely super. It was super interesting. We arrived on Friday afternoon, and not much happened for us on Friday afternoon. There was some talk and stories at the Banfield at the campground, just at the end of the Pacific West Coast Trail. And yeah, and Saturday we were at the community center doing presentation of solar scope and solar viewing. And we had some cloud, but it cleared out, and we've been able to do a nice presentation of sun observation. And on Saturday evening, we went to the beach, to Pachina Beach, which is a stunning place, absolutely stunning, to set up our telescope. And yeah, it was really nice. We also had a little bit of cloud, but we have a really, really nice clearing. And it cleared out as we packed up at about midnight, well, 12:30. And the sky was actually incredible. And Bill took some measurement, which is light pollution meter. I can't remember the name exactly. And it was border one. So the sky was just insane, insane. And as for the festival, it was interesting. They had concerts, they had stories, they had speakers, um, and the crowd was quite discreet. They had about 50 people subscribing that they actually registered for the activity. And us on the beach, we had about 100 people looking at telescope. Uh, and we had people coming especially from Vancouver. We had people from Victoria, people from Port Alberni, some people from Banfield that never seen through a telescope. So yeah, it was a lovely event. Very interesting. The Pachina Beach could be a nice place to organize a true star party for us, because it's absolutely stunning. And I'm sure that the campground would accommodate some spot for us to have an official mission for observation over there. Like Vince was really, really happy as well to do astrophotography over there.
That's great. CJ, I'm so glad that you were able to get up there. Was the organization team happy with the turnout, or did they hope to get more? What was their
No, they're
goal?
generally happy because the thing is they'd like to take it slow. They don't. It's funny because they're trying to build this dark sky festival really in harmony with the community around
Mhm.
Banfield and Anakla. And I'm not sure that they would want 10,000 people showing up.
Yeah.
Uh, so they're quite happy that it starts slow and gradual, because for sure there are some hiccups on organization and timing and signage and marketing, but they did a trial. What Bill told us that they organized a trial about a year and a half ago to see what
Yes.
could work, what wouldn't work, and that was pretty much the first real test. And I think the organizer, it's actually a company from Edmonton that gave them a hand to organize that. They were quite happy, and they were mostly happy about the impression that people had. Like, people were thrilled. And as usual, when you do a star party with people that don't have much the occasion of looking up to the sky, and even less in a telescope, I had people really getting almost emotional looking at Jupiter and realizing there were moons and seeing open cluster on a Dobson. It's yeah. So when we have people that are touched and will remember that weekend for sure, it's always enjoyable.
Hey, thank you, CJ. Are they going to do it again next week or next year?
Uh, Probably. I think the intention is they got quite a bit of funding, right? So they were like, I mean, they flew people from Colorado and Nova Scotia,
Oh,
and yeah. They had the Dark Sky organization coming from Colorado. They had a band coming from Prince George. They had Stefan, one of the RASC member from Halifax that he's into citizen tourism, citizen science
yeah, yeah,
tourism kind of thing. So he was there as well. So and they got budget from the government, from different associations. So they probably will organize. They weren't counting on people attending to make it profitable. And it wasn't even the intention. It was just to create something meaningful.
right. Hey, thank you. So I think some of us missed a good party. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's always next year, but for sure the site beside the festival, I know I will go back there with my telescope because the beach is absolutely stunning. It's incredible, and yeah, and the sky is so dark. It's I haven't seen a dark sky like that for a long time.
Okay.
How long is the drive?
Uh, oh, we took our time, but it's about 3.5 hours, something like that. 4 hours. The road is paved all the way to Bamfield now.
Oh,
Yeah, because what I heard before it was like a lo logging road, and 2 or 3 years ago, a bus with some teenager had
Yes.
an accident, and a couple people died, and that triggered a reaction that they couldn't leave that road in this state of roughness, so they paved it. I mean, you can go with a city car with no problem at all, but through Port Albernido. But yeah, it's it's an enjoyable drive. And then on the way up, we stopped in Coombs, looking at the goats on the roof of the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a nice drive. It's really nice.
Okay, thank you, CJ. All right. David, you had some announcements?
Yeah, I did. Thanks, Laurie. So as many of you know, the beginner's SIG is paused now, paused until September later in the year. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to see each other. In fact, this is our chance to see each other. So we're hoping to have pop-ups out at Kettle Point through the summer. And just remember, pop-ups are not, they don't have a lot of lead time associated with them. So just stay tuned to your email. Often, I mean, given enough of a stretch, I think we could probably try for at least a day's notice. But sometimes the sky just clears, and if some of us just want to pop out, we can certainly do that. It's also an opportunity for people who are working on their certificates to come out. Uh, all sorts of opportunities during the summer. It starts later, of course. I mean, we can't start until a little bit later, and probably optimal is probably about now because pretty soon it'll be quite late before we can get started. But I hope people sort of take advantage of that, and I hope to see you guys out there. And definitely, I hope you guys get to a dark site sometime this summer. Okay, thanks, Lori.
Thank you. Randy, would you have some other announcements that you would like to talk
You
about?
want it?
Maybe maybe the
Star party.
star party. Yes.
Yes. So I should say tomorrow is the council meeting. People are very welcome to join in. The star party is on August 7 and 8. It's a new moon. On the Friday night. Oh dear, I'm just blocking on her name. She's the Dragonfly, Deborah Lockhurst. is going to be our speaker, and it's very exciting because she's spending a lot of her time in Chile setting up the Mothra, the 1,000 lens camera, and so that's super. And then the next day, James, oh my goodness, I can't remember anything.
Francesco.
Francesco. James DeFrancesco is going to talk, and I have no idea what he's going to talk about. But we have two really spectacular speakers for this year's Star Party. It's again going to be at St. Stephen's in Saanich off Mount Newton Road near West Saanich. Guaranteed clear skies, right? And you can just come for the evening. You can camp overnight. We will need lots of volunteers to help set up, to be at the welcome table and collect money. It's going to be by donation, but we do have over $1,000 of expenses, so we do need to encourage all the people who come to donate. It's nice to have some door prizes, but not too many. I think that if we have too many, then it becomes a burden. But a few things, maybe a puzzle of the moon.
We have a telescope.
We have the telescope all set up. Good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there'll be definitely one for
wonderful.
Yeah.
And if you have a smaller talk, I'm going to have to give my Eclipse talk there because it will be just a couple of weeks before the eclipse timing. So I hope people don't get too bored of this, but then I won't bug you again until 2033. Yeah, and then the next big event after that is going to be Saanich Fair.
And that is late this year, September 5 to September 7. So this is the latest that you can have a Labor Day. And so it's going to be quite a bit later. Same time, same channel, same place. And we will definitely need to have it ends up being about 21 to 25 volunteers that we need. And so if you have got some time, anytime on the Saturday, the Sunday, or the Monday, we kind of open from 10 until 4 in the afternoon. So we've got two 3-hour sessions that people can go into, and you get a wristband that will let you in to the fair for the whole rest of the day that you are there, so you don't need to pay to go to the fair. And it would be really nice. As I said, I think the last time was I would really like to have somebody help me with the volunteer portion. I certainly don't mind doing some of the logistics and getting things organized and things like that, but I would really like to have somebody else that would help me with getting some of the volunteers. As I say, it takes about 21 to 25 people to man the entire thing, and so it does take a little bit of time to get some of the scheduling. And if any of you know that you are going to be around and that you'd like to volunteer, throw me an email at Roche roche.lauri@gmail.com, and I can put you on the list right away, and then that will make things so much easier. If I know already that some people will be out, that would be just great. Thank you.
Okay, I also want to say, very interestingly, there have been 2 emails today to me about name tags and wearing the name tags at these outreach events. And
Yes.
This is Star Party, Saanich Fair, but also the Star Parties up at the center of the universe. Margie is going to do a name tag order soon. she doesn't say when, but soon means if you are a volunteer and you want to wear the tag, who has a tag here? I saw Reg has one.
Rich is wearing one.
Yeah, anyway, so, but you know, it's just a nice little RASC Victoria tag. You can contact me, but the person who's putting in the order is Margie Welchframe soon. So get your order in now. Oh, there we go. So can you show that to the camera?
I can if I can get up.
If you can.
That's a deep couch.
So you get your spiffy one.
Thanks, Chris.
And it's a.
And these we normally get the ones that are magnets.
Yeah.
And
but you get a
very
kid
well.
one as well.
Oh, you can.
They are the same price.
And
or they used to be.
Yeah, the center pays for them. They're free. And it's really good. So you can wear your RASC t-shirt and you can have your RASC name tag. Feel like you're on the inside.
And just to point out, the newer generations, they no longer have this background color of metal. So the background is a little lighter. If you notice, mine is got quite a dark blue around the edge.
Ah, yes.
It's slightly lighter on the new ones.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, whoever made that color discontinued it.
Okay. There's an announcement right next to me.
This
Wait.
Wednesday, we have the UVic presentation, and it's entitled The Universe Through a Lens, Capturing the Night Sky, and it's put on by our very own Megan Raz.
Yay.
And it's
Megan, wave.
Thanks very much, Megan. Really appreciate you stepping up. It starts at 7:30 and it's in the Elliott Building, room 168. That's the same one we were in last week or last month, not the normal one.
And if you do have mobility issues, that one is quite steep. So you may want to go to the lower floor and go up rather than come down.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion.
Is everybody familiar with where 168 is in the Elliott Building? Just if you know, I think one of us can be standing at the other at the other older place in the Bob Wright, but we can direct you to the Elliott Building if you're not sure. Let's see if we can get a really good a good turnout for this for Megan. Thank you. Thanks for doing this for us, Megan. That's going to be great. Good, thank you.
Looking forward to it.
And then the other thing that I just have is, of course, you are always welcome to come up on Saturday nights during the summertime in order to put your telescope out, to bring a pair of binoculars, to not even do those two things, just simply come and help with chatting to people. We need people always at the welcome table to set out and chat away to those who are who come around. And I think any of you that have been at the welcome table before know how many people you talk to during the evening that come by and really appreciate having people there. And we are in order for most of you, if you have not been up before as a volunteer, then get in touch with me, because you actually have to at least get your name down with Amy Rawson, who is the person kind of looking after the Saturday night star parties at the center, and she just needs to have your name. And then you may be asked at the bottom of the hill by a commissionaire, and all you need to just say is that you are an RASC volunteer for the evening, and there should be no trouble letting you through. I mean, otherwise we are only allowed 250 people on the hill at any time, and that's why we have to have the setup with tickets and things for people to register ahead of time. So but you don't need to register if you are an RASC volunteer. And we do need people. The more people that we have putting out telescopes, I mean, I'm thinking, David, now how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have at least 6 sitting in the
Yeah,
lobby.
we do. And
Um,
if anybody was new who was
that would
kind of
like to.
graduating out of binos and stuff, and you want to learn a little bit more about the actual tube type telescopes, come and see me. Come and see any of the volunteers on Saturday.
Mhm,
It's a great
mhm,
opportunity to learn.
mhm.
And yeah, I mean, just learn by experience. That's what you really need to do. So there's a
I mean, and
lot of chance for that.
to be perfectly honest, I mean, you don't need to know a huge amount, because you will already know more than anybody else that is coming up to the hill and is asking questions. And so if you know where a few things are, then that's great, and we can sit and chat to people. So it's really quite a fun experience. And the more telescopes there are out on the deck, then it just means that knowledge is just shared around, and it makes for a really good evening. So the next one is this coming week, on the 16th, and then not again until the 30th. So this in May. We just had we had the 2 of them. So the 2nd, the 16th, and the 30th. Oh, and the 9th. That's right. We did have the 2 of them on that same day. So and then June we'll have, I believe there's 2 in June. And then we get into July and August, and they're every single week. So we do need to have people to be helping with that. So hope to see everybody at least once. That would be great. Okay, I think that's
A quick
all that
announcement
I had.
is I see
Yes.
that Vince and David are opening up
Yes. Tonight.
the Victoria Center Observatory tonight.
Yeah.
And Vince
And-
says it's perfect tonight.
Yeah. So is it still all right to go up, or did you have to put your name down earlier?
Well,
David, what happens
Well,
with that?
you do have to put your name up for the record. Just trying
Yes.
to check to see if anybody else has responded.
So
Otherwise,
if
it's just
you're
going to
on
be
the active observers list and you want to go, get your name in now.
yes, like
Yeah.
real fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, I think maybe, is there anyone else that has got anything that they would like to put forward just right now? Because I was thinking maybe we should, if we want to end this a little bit earlier, then that's great, because then people can get up to the hill if they would like to go up. So I know it's only just about 8:30.
Yeah, I don't see any more people here, but
Okay.
please, if you're interested, it does look like it's going to be a good night.
And the
So that's good.
forecast of the coming days looks less supportive of going to the hill. So
Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if
All
you
right.
wanted, Lauri, I can show you Texas there.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
yes, right. Go ahead. Sorry. Yes, of course.
Oh,
Yes, Ken.
if I can figure out how to do it all. Uh, okay, I sent a telescope down the Starfront Observatory near Rockford, Texas. This is their homepage, starfront.space.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why this goes so quick, but it definitely does. At the end of November, they had 617 telescopes. When I took a first light Zoom meeting with them, and there was 12 people at that first light Zoom meeting. So I'll just go over the website quickly. Reserve a site. So this is where you reserve a site and the different piers and things like that. So a C star is on a bar they have with a number of these smaller telescopes right close to the top of the roof. And that's $99. Or you can buy a C-Star S Pro or 30 Pro from them. So you've got no shipping or anything like that involved. I got to get rid of this. Okay. The pier that I got is $199 a month. This is all US funds.
A month.
Which I was considering buying a motorhome and going down to Arizona for a couple of months, and this is a lot cheaper to do that. The bigger telescopes you have, the more you can spend. This is these two are just for pier cameras. And this is an interesting deal too. This is for $1 you can rent a C-Star or the C-Star system. And then you pay what was it, $99 a month. So, and you can cancel anytime too you want. So it's a beta test, so they're just trying that out, but looks like a pretty good deal to me. They show you what the weather is down there, when it gets dark and everything and light again. They have weather data there in your clear sky charts also, which looks pretty nice for the next few days. They've got a Discord, their community, and I was quite surprised here. They've got about 3,500 members, a lot of different things you can do, classes and things like that, and talks and etc. I haven't got into that yet, but it's kind of intimidating for me to get into it, but I will shortly. And this is a site, so as you can see, it's Border 1 skies. Nobody's around in the middle of the desert. They have 11 observatories set up there now. And then they've got frequently asked questions and things like that. So that's their website, if there's any questions on that.
How much are you using it, Ken?
Well, I had a lot of real problems getting it going. Then I finally got it going, and it was cloudy for a month.
Classic.
This stuff follows me around all the time.
Surprise! Yeah.
You should
So
have
this
a money back guarantee.
Yeah.
I actually I've only paid $200 so far, so it's
Not so bad then.
I've got to get a hold of them because it almost looks like there's an error in there somewhere. But this is my telescope here in building 10. And this is the telescope that I sent down. It's got a guide scope on it. On the front's got a flat field ASI, which is a little computer, and an automatic focuser, a camera rotator, 7-filter wheel, and an ASI 2600 cooled camera.
And they put it on for you, did they?
Yeah, they install it all. You send it down in pieces. This is the rotator at work. So it's with this you can frame whatever you want remotely.
David, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Ken, you mentioned that you've got some cloudy period now. I guess you haven't been there long enough to know what the potential bad periods are for weather?
I think this is about when it starts, you got tornado alley happening down there
Hmm.
and that. I think the hurricanes are a little bit more to the east, but they get an average of 240 clear nights a year down there.
Okay.
Um, and this is a flat field opening up remotely and closing. There's a couple of magnets here, which when it does close, it locks it in there. Then a light turns on, and you can take your flats. And by taking the flats, you can run it through the computer and get rid of vignetting and dust spots and stuff like that. Here's a picture of my telescope inside the observatory with the roof closed. And to get things going, I've got a UPS, uninterrupted power supply, which if the power goes out there, it lasts for about 20 minutes. And I've got CASA smart switches on, one for my mini PC and the other one for the ASI Air on the telescope. And you just download the CASA app to the iPhone. And then you just click these buttons and turn the power on and off. And it's kind of real simple and slick. Yes, to get into the telescope, I can do it through any desk or Chrome remote is what I mostly use. And there it is there. I'm right now, this is the coma cluster. I'm imaging it right now. I have been for almost an hour now. So the star front observatory is about 2 hours in time ahead of us. They're on Central Time. And this is the main page of the SIR. Get me out of the way.
Is that live or is that a simulation?
That's live. You can, they've got histograms here they can show. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to set the guiding up. I was trying to do this, was listening to your talk, Randy.
Yeah, sorry.
So Ken, I was just going to ask you how the guiding was.
Last night it was 0.3.
Okay.
Roughly a little bit above and a little bit below.
Mhm.
So actually instead of doing it right now, maybe I'll shut things down. And
Will it pick up where you left off when you restart everything?
if not, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I won't lose much time on it. So I'll just send the telescope to the home position and show you how this runs through a Android emulator, which is kind of annoying. Oh, I see the problem there.
Is it BlueStacks you're using or
LD player.
LD player? Okay.
Okay, let's see. I can get a little bit better picture of the telescope there too.
Oh, your webcam is showing us it's moving.
It's slowing to the home position. And you can see the flat panels opened up there. Okay, we'll go over this briefly. This is sort of like the main page, or it gives you your voltage, on-off switch for the flat panel, and the power to the flat panel. The flat panel went off is open. It also part of the camera and part of the heaters, which I have off right now. And you can reboot or shut down the ASI air from there. The main camera, you can adjust the gain, and it gives you the focal length. It's a cool camera, so I have it 10 degrees below ambient temperature. And advanced settings, nothing really. Continuous preview, turn on going out the main camera is connected. The guide camera, once again, the gain control shows the guide's focal length and adjustments to your guiding. And for the mount, we have basically the settings for your mount and the guiding speed of the mount and go home position, which I just used. Filter wheel, you can select whatever filters you have on, which I have luminance and HA, S203, RGB. And filter settings and that. Yeah, automatic focuser, the controls for that, which is does a real good job. If it's out of focus a bit, I can adjust it here by, in this box, I'd put in, say, 26,000 and then tell it to move. And if it gets worse, then I go the other way. And I get it close enough that the automatic focuser will take over. And this is the page for the camera rotator. And then the memory. Excuse me. The memory, I've got onboard memory on the ASI Air and a USB drive put into it. And this I don't use very much. Okay, in the preview mode, well, anyway, I can show you this, I guess. I can search whatever celestial object I want. I think the mount has 40,500 different ones programmed into it. And we're doing Abel 156 is about where that one was. And it's not showing that, so I'll go cancel. So anyway, if I wanted to go to the coma cluster B, I just hit that and hit this. It'd take me over to where the cluster is. I put go to, and it would slew me over to it. Another way of doing it, which is what I use for pictures after pictures. Oops. Is I'll go to the memory and image management and to the lights. Then I'll just pick out one of my previous images and press go to. Oh, right. Sorry. These are different settings. You have polar align for polar aligning and focusing, auto run. You can make a plan and set it up and it will activate itself. Live view or preview. And then I'll go to image management, auto run lights. Then all I have to do is go to, and go to, and it should slew the telescope around. Which is right now, so something's happening here, I think.
So Ken, it's doing this by plate solving, right? So it's just going to match exactly
Yes.
that frame, right?
Yeah. Telescope should be moving now, but I don't know what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm showing everybody that's what's happening here.
Of course.
Called
How
Yeah.
different is this, Ken? How different is this than sitting in your van and operating your telescope a meter away?
Basically none.
Yeah, it's all the same.
It's the same thing. This is you're working on your iPad or iPhone in the van, and this is oh,
It's centered now.
yeah. So something's happening with this program.
So Ken, do you have the same equipment in your van, more or less?
Yeah, well, it would just be an iPad that I have.
Yeah, but the same telescope or
Something's going. I did have that, then I sent it down.
oh, okay, that's the one you had been using. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then I just go over to auto run. And these are the what I've set up for this evening.
Ken, do you want to turn your guiding on first, or?
Yeah, I better do that, hadn't I?
Yeah.
I haven't shown you that either.
Yeah.
So for the guiding, it's already calibrated. So I'll turn it on like that, and there's some stars. The green circles are all the stars they're guiding on, with this is the main star. So it's picked up backup stars sort of thing.
So it's calibrating right now.
Yeah, and it looks like it's doing it again, so.
And normally you wouldn't have to calibrate each time, would you? Ken? Or?
Every night. Every
Oh,
night
you do calibrate every night.
yeah, because most of the times you can get away with it, but some of the times you can't, right?
Hmm.
So if you do it every night, it doesn't take long to do it. I didn't do it tonight, so this is going to take a few seconds. There'll be a graph comes up here now that will show you your RA in your deck and adjustments to it there.
How big is your guide scope, Ken?
It's a 250 millimeter
Mm-hmm.
with an ASI, what is it, 220 on it. Another thing here is before I start, I'll take a picture in the preview mode. I will then plate solve it. Then I'll go to detect, and it comes up with the size of the stars. And that tells me whether I'm in focus or not. And the focus looks really good on this right now.
Looks like your gun is going well.
Yeah, we're happening. So
Mhm.
it didn't take too long. And there's the graph and the guiding's 0.46, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
For this telescope, anything under 1, I think, is supposed to be, doesn't help it out an awful lot. But
Yeah, it's good enough actually. But you're
yeah,
more than good enough.
yeah, which is what we like to be. And even then I could do some adjustments on that, maybe. Then it's just simply start the auto run. And I guess because it's just been paused. Normally it would go straight to focus and would start refocusing it. But since I've already done the focus and it was just paused, it didn't go to the focus again. Here it shows that I've done one filter so far. I'm into the first filter, and I have 17 subs out of 50.
So Ken, if you connected this to Chat GPT, it could run everything, and you wouldn't even have to touch it or look at any of the pictures. You could just feed information to our future AI overlords so that they would have a nice appreciation of astronomy.
Yeah, that's way above my pay scale, right? But I don't know whether Chat GPT would do it, but Claude would do it, I think. So that's about that. If there's any questions.
It
How
looks
long
like a
did
pretty
you
nice sky.
how long did you have to rehearse before you had enough confidence to send everything down to Texas?
Oh, everything was perfect. I mean, I sent my favorite scope that I just set up, it went to work, and there's no problems at all. Then
Wow.
I'd work on the problem scopes from there. Then I sent it down to Texas, and everything fell apart. Everything from the mount not working, I had to send a different mount down, and even the focuser broke down on me.
I mean,
So it was just,
you basically had hardware failures, right? Which
yeah.
you
And
can't
and
stop
I
that.
I screwed up a couple times. They screwed up a
Mm.
couple times, right? But they're just a great bunch of guys to work with and stuff like that. I got nothing but good good to say about them.
That's half the battle.
Uh,
It's amazing how many things go wrong with telescopes.
oh, tell me. I
Well,
thought
Gary,
fish boat.
Gary knows.
I thought
Oh, yeah,
fish boats
forgot
were
about that
bad.
one. Big one.
Thank you, Ken. Sometime if you'd like to kind of give us a few of your pictures from down there, some of your images,
Yeah, well, I'm
yeah,
just
that'd be
getting them
great.
now. So
Yeah.
that was a coma cluster that I showed you, which is what
Yay.
the group's going to be doing a
Right.
project on.
Yeah.
And there's like in that area, there's 2,500 galaxies. And most of what you saw there was galaxies.
Crazy.
So
That's
Ken,
terrific.
I've got a question. I've got a lot of data. How long does it take to get the image back to your computer and Victoria to process it?
It's not bad. Here I could go back there again and I use FreeSync. And there's still some problems with that. The auto run works good, but the USB drive and that I've got to get working. So once this is completely set up, I'm on my way down to Gizmos tomorrow with 3 problems. But all you do is press sync, and it fires it over to Google Drive.
So it just periodically keeps the 2 volumes synchronized, basically.
Yeah, you're just
Yep.
synchronizing between the mini computer down there and Google Drive. But the downside of the ASI Air is the onboard memory isn't that great. So when it writes to Google Drive and back to the onboard memory. So I got to go into the onboard memory and delete it every time.
You wouldn't go direct to Google Drive, right? You could go direct to, yeah, I noticed you had
but for some reason it's not set up like that. And
but I noticed that you had an external drive, so you could basically write to your external drive that's local there, and then synchronize to Google Drive from that drive.
Yeah, and that's probably what I should do. I mean, that's just the thumb drive that came along with the Air, right? That I sent down. So I'd probably send down one of my 2 terabyte scan disk drives.
Yeah, you could use the little SanDisk guys or Samsung T7s or something like that.
Yeah, I've got 4 of those scan disk ones around, so with Velcro on it and just stick it on top of the Air.
Just be sure you don't exceed the power available to drive some of those devices are power hungry.
Yeah,
The SSD drives.
Yeah, I haven't run across problems with that, but the mount, which is the AM5 ZWO AM5 mount, seems to suck up a lot of voltage because when it gets up to the air, you're down to 11.8, 11.9 sort of thing. Where going in there, you're 12.3 or something. So. But all that seems to be working now, so I'm finally happy. Maybe I'll get an image out of this.
Good stuff.
Most
I know it's taken a lot. It's taken quite a while to get this all set up.
Well,
so
it was the end of November when I sent it down. So.
yeah.
Well, Ken,
Well-
you never say it's working.
Yes.
That's not a good thing to
Knock
say.
on wood.
That's looking
Yeah.
really great, Ken. Can't wait to get my
Okay.
hands on
Good for
your
you, Ken.
data.
Thanks.
Well, I think unless somebody else has got anything else that they'd like to just finish. Oh, David, one last little question. These guys have got to get out of that room.
Oh, I just wanted to say thanks to that. Was looking great, Ken. I just can't wait to look at that coma cluster data.
We'll get it together sometime. I'll give you a phone call and see exactly how I'm going to do that.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, we'll say goodbye to the people in the room. Thank you very much to everybody that's there. Thanks to everybody who came on tonight. Nice to see you, Peter Jedicke from London. I hope you weren't in the middle of the tornado that went by a couple of days ago, and that you're safe.
Supposedly it went south of the city, and it rained here really hard for about 8 minutes. No problem.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Wonderland Road, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
there
Thank you,
go.
Lauri.
Yeah. All right. Can I if I tell people at the like this is going to be online from the people at the center, right? Like, so I can't stay on specifically. Is that correct? Somebody help me out here.
Right.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. No problem. All right. Good night, everybody, and we'll talk again soon. We hope to see everybody out on Wednesday night at the university. Okay, bye-bye for now.
Night.
Bye bye.